Hey Barry,
Hey, hey, how's it going, Casey?
it's going good. How about yourself? How's your morning?
Good. So far, so good. Can
Glad to
always be
hear.
worse.
Cool. But
Yeah.
yeah, but real quick, man, like as I kind of told you on the phone, I wanted to on this call like kind of go over what's been, working really well for you because of course you've had some success. I see some of the notifications with the deals you've been locking up. Uh,
hmm
and I've seen you on the calls as well with Juan Nicasio, so I see you've been showing up too. So
hmm
yeah, we always love to, do lots of testimonials. And so I kind of want to, first of all, start with that. So, keep in mind that, don't talk about like private information or like, excuse my French, but like shit talking people, on this
hmm
call that you don't want people to
Yeah.
see. Um,
hmm
and then after we kind of like gone through, what's working well, I want to walk through, different ways we can help you like really scale. Cause of course our whole thing is like, I don't know if you've heard, but like we've got TikTok we're doing for free. We also have a PPC campaign. I'm not sure if you're working with that right now. And
hmm
we also have like some other plans where you can have like, an even higher profit margin too.
Okay.
So we'll go through that on this call. Sound good?
Okay. hmm
Awesome. All right. So I think probably the best place to start is tell me, man, what's been the experience? You've been here. It's like how long now? It's like I think it's been like
It's been a little over a year. I started last April, getting started. So just been just over a year. I've been working with you guys.
damn over
So
a
it's been
year.
it's been really it's been working really well for me. I was working some other lead sources, cold calling, text, things like that, but I wasn't getting the same amount of success for the cost as using Hesel Media. So I definitely switched over to just focusing on that.
I see. Damn it, it's been a whole freaking year. I thought you had only
Yeah.
been with us for a few months. I don't know why I thought that. Uh,
No, no, I guess started off, quite a ways back, I guess.
damn. So, and you're based in I saw you're in Pacific time. So you're in California?
Arizona.
Arizona.
Arizona's
Okay.
got a weird time zone, so we happen to switch between, Pacific and Mountain, depending on what time of year it is.
I see. And do you do like kind of a local market or what's
Yeah, I've mainly did a local market. We have done some stuff out of state. I've closed a deal in Texas, closed, deal in Georgia. Um, so I've done some things out of state, but mainly, I've been making money on my main market in Arizona.
Gotcha. I see. Right. And like you mentioned, it's been working pretty well. Obviously, you stuck with us for more than a year now, or about a year.
Right.
What? Yeah. So, so obviously, it must be working pretty good.
Yes,
Um,
yeah.
what is that thing that's working well? Because of course, you've been doing all these other sources. You're getting a better like cost per deal. It sounds like with the inbound
Yeah.
channel. Like, why
Mhm.
is that? Like, why? Because it's isn't it cheaper to do cold calling and all these like text campaigns and whatnot?
You would think a lot of some of those things would be cheaper, but when you think about getting a list, getting it skipped, paying for a dialer, paying for somebody to make the calls, that kind of in order to get a small amount of slightly motivated people, because you're kind of calling them out of the blue. Whereas in this case instance, the leads that come in, they're for the most part are really interested in selling. Either something came up and they want to sell pretty quick, or they're really thinking about it and they do want to move forward at this time. Oftentimes, they're reaching out to other channels too, but that kind of the quick response to them really helps because they're kind of looking for a fast fix. So they come in hot, as opposed to chasing the cold leads to try to warm them up kind of thing.
I see. I feel you on that. And how was it like when you first started? Were you like following up really quick with the leads, or did you kind of like go through kind of a learning period where at first you might have, I don't know, maybe struggled a little bit, and then like over time you kind of learned like what it takes to get the most out of it, or how was
I
your
think
journey?
Yeah, I think the only struggle was like getting a good system of how to follow up or who, because I had different team members that, at the time. So it was when did they follow up, and just learn that, you just got to make sure you have someone dedicated that when the lead comes in, you got to get on it quick, at least get in contact with them right away. because they want, whoever responds first is really how they see things. And if they like you, then they'll stick, they'll stick with you. It's more they want to build a relationship quick. So the sooner you can get to them on the phone, it helps build a rapport, and then they'll start ignoring some of the other maybe people calling them back and things like that because they feel like they already got somebody. People just want to get to a solution quickly. So the first person it seems like they can do it for them is the one they want to work with.
Damn, I see. What about whenever you get like, because I hear a lot of people, they get, people that are wanting retail initially, like they want a
Mhm.
retail price. Do you get a lot of those too?
Yeah, I do. The fortunately, I don't have as much of a problem with that. Um, when you have a lot of different ways that you can kind of dispo the deal, it helps. And the sellers have, they kind of understand when they reach out, they understand the cash offer isn't always going to be retail. When I explain to them some of the things we have to do or some of the advantages we can take, whether it be creative finance or the fact that just for a cash offer, it will be, discounted. They understand that. And so sometimes they're like, well, I want retail, but for a cash price, that would be somewhere around here. So they already know that the price is going to be lower. Then I kind of got to, educate them a little bit about the market, especially right now, right? It's been a big re-education process.
Oh yeah,
But, at the time, working with different hedge funds or just local investors that are pretty savvy, you know, we can come up with a way to make the deal work. And that's, where I found the success. As long as they feel comfortable with you, they'll work with some different terms. Often they come with their own expectation, but when they feel comfortable and you kind of lay out the different foundations, they're more willing to make some adjustments.
for sure. Good stuff, man. Good stuff, dude. We're 1 year in and you're still going strong. It's crazy. I
Yeah.
think that's what one thing that happens to a lot of people is like over time they kind of get, I don't know, it's kind of like when you first start out, you're like, man, I really had to make this work. I just made this investment. I got to make it work. But then like over
Mhm.
time, once you've had that success already, I think some people they kind of like, get a little bit more comfortable. It's like,
Yeah.
already closed some deals, I already made a return on investment. Like I don't. So how do you kind of like keep that motivation going where you're still staying on top of all these leads, you're still like taking the program seriously, essentially?
Yeah, in the beginning, you have to know, they set a realistic expectation that it takes a little bit of time to build up what you need, but you will get the type of leads that you need. And that's with any system, right? Any system guy has to get the gears going in order for it to start to pump out things. And after, I think it was a couple months, I think it was 2 months after having everything set up, I started getting the leads that I wanted, right? Which eventually led up to a contract pretty quickly. So it's like once you know that a system, what it takes to get the system going, you have to work for it. You have to allow it to get there. And two, you got to also work with the system. If the system says that when once you get a lead, follow up on it. You don't go, oh, okay, well, I don't like leads in this. I don't like this. It doesn't sound like it's got to work because then now you're killing the machine. You don't know, you may get on a call and maybe that it is something you can work and you don't know that. So just follow, if you have to follow the system, right? If the system says call, if the system says follow up, you have to do it because you don't know what other people are really thinking. And so you want to get to the point where you can work with it and then really decide if it is a lead that you can't use. Or if you don't have if you have a lead that you can't use, think, okay, well, how could I get this to somebody else? Maybe there's a realtor I can refer this to and I could still make some money on it. So you have to work with the leads in multiple ways. That way you can make the machine work.
Awesome stuff, man. Have you kind of kept track of like how many deals you've kind of done throughout this, like years time you've been working with us, like from I guess from us specifically? Um,
Yeah, from you guys specific, I was just looking from the very start. We've almost made $150,000 from just using the system from last April until now. Um, last year was about 40,000, and this year we're over 100 so far. So it's definitely a good working system.
I see. So that's like, well, what's kind of the RI on that? That's like Look, I'm not the best at math. I don't know, but
Yeah, no,
yeah, I'm not the best.
I
Yeah,
gotta calculate. Yeah. So
yeah.
let's see.
So overall, yeah, you've been having has it been pretty consistent, or because I know like with advertising, there's like advertising seasons and whatnot, where you have different like kind of like it's not going to be the exact same number of leads every single month. Um,
Yeah, I mean, there's small fluctuations, but I didn't notice like a huge dry period. I mean, I closed a deal in December, which is considered like the slowest time. So it's not maybe it slows up a little bit, but at least people kind of set some expectations. And oftentimes the leads that you're cultivating leads over time too. So they kind of produce later. And so that may be during the periods where you're not getting as many leads. So they kind of piggyback off of each other. Not all leads close right away when you get them on the phone. Sometimes it takes 3 or 4 months for you to work them in order for them to start working with you. So, it creates a consistency where you're always having somebody that you're dealing with, even if leads aren't coming in right away. But for the most part, it's been pretty consistent.
I see. Yeah, that's actually a good point you bring up that you're essentially building up your pipeline as well,
Hmm.
just by running these campaigns too.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So I do want to make sure that, of course, we can also talk about, plans moving forward and everything. So in terms of the leads specifically that have been working really well for you, um, which leads have kind of like, I guess, brought you, what type of leads, like what kind of distress did they have? What kind of situations led to the best deals for you specifically?
The leads that have led me the best are the ones that aren't really distressed. They're just maybe just a dated home or even a newer home. Those are the ones I've been able to sell, with the greatest success. The ones that are the more distressed have uh, haven't always been, good ones to work. I mean, I can still work them, but the greatest success and the ones who are willing to really cooperate are the ones who have just a dated home or a newer home because the distressed ones still want the newer home price, and so they're harder to get to understand where they're really at. Whereas the ones in the newer home, they understand that there still needs to be some room in the price, but my investors see the value in the house, so it's easier for them. It's easier for us to work a workable deal as opposed to those who are in distress or in the more distressed houses, I guess.
Damn, that's interesting. That's like an answer I would never have expected.
Yeah. Yeah, most of the deals that I've closed have all been at least decent to newer homes.
Mm, I see. Gotcha. All right. So I guess like just to kind of like wrap this section off because it's kind of like a testimony, in a sense.
Mhm.
For people who are kind of like on the fence, they're like not sure if like Hustle Media is the right company or if Facebook ads like a lot of people they think Facebook ads doesn't even work, and I
Mhm.
think obviously if you're not following up properly, maybe you're having the wrong targeting, you're getting people that are looking to rent a house that are clicking on the ad, then of course um have you kind of like tried any other company before Hustle Media in terms of like inbound campaigns with PPC or Facebook or anything like that?
Yeah, I did try one other company before working with you guys, and they weren't able to produce any leads for me. The difference when it comes to working with a company like Hesel Media is you need to have somebody who is focused and targeted on the type of leads that you need for one, because I work with some other companies and they were more focused on realtors. And
Uh,
that's a totally different lead. They're because part of their campaign is letting them know what market value is, which is hard to try and now renegotiate once you get the leads, to lower price. So like a company like Hazel Media, they know the type of target that they need. And unless you know how to market with Facebook ads, what you end up doing is just spending money, wasting money because you don't really know what you're doing. Sure, you could try to do it yourself, but it may cost you so much time and money that you've lost 6 months to a year trying to learn it. Whereas you could have somebody who specializes in it, focuses on your campaign, retargets, reanalyzes, and does that for you. That's what gets you those things quicker and faster because they specialize in what they do. And so that gets you that quality lead quicker, and it takes away that kind of focus from you. It's like having a whole team ready to get you leads, and all you have to do is really get them and dispo them really.
I see. Gotcha. Dude, you sound like you have a good mindset in terms of like scaling up your business. So if you don't mind me asking, like, I mean, how many like deals do you typically do in a month at the moment?
Right now, I'm doing about a deal a month. And so, I'm looking to, wanting to scale up. I'm trying to make sure I have a good consistency going before I start to scale because, in the past I tried to scale too quick and I kind of end up fumbling and have to come all the way, back and kind of focus on what I was doing so that I can build that consistency. So once I get a complete consistency that I want, then I want to scale, uh, that business.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's what we're here for, man. I want to see what I can do to help you with that consistency. Right.
Yeah.
So I think in terms of the like sharing your experience, I think that that's a like very yeah, I appreciate you like being so open about your experience and helping people like really understand what it's going to take. Right. So yeah, would it be cool with you if we kind of share this? I'll post it on my Facebook profile. Is that cool with you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Awesome. All right, appreciate it, man.
Yeah, no problem.
Hey. All right. Cool. All right, so I'm gonna stop the recording here. See.